Here back at home, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin and his Attorney General filing an emergency motion after a federal judge barred the state from removing 1,600 alleged non-citizens from its voter rolls.
Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares joins us now.
Jason, thanks for being with us, Mr. Attorney General. Talk to us. Governor Youngkin has suggested this will be fought. This is not over. You'll continue to appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Can that be done in time to affect keeping non-citizens off the rolls in Virginia before the race for president?
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for having me. We've actually already filed that. We filed that yesterday evening, just hours after the judge made their ruling. And so this really goes back to something that's pretty common sense, which is Virginians, citizens should be deciding Virginia elections. American citizens should be deciding American elections. And the root of all this is a law that got put on the books back in 2006, signed by a Democratic governor, then Tim Kaine. It's been enforced by Democratic governors like Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam, which is removing non-citizens off our voter rolls. These are individuals that go to DMV to get some type of driver privileges. They self-identify that they are non-citizens, and then they have ended up on our voter rolls. It goes to our Department of Elections. We then notify the individuals, hey, you have identified as a non-citizen. If you're actual a citizen, let us know. Otherwise, there's a period of time that you need to be removed off our voter rolls. The idea that this is a bill that's been in place for over a decade and that you've had Democratic and Republican governors have implemented it, it just goes to show you the misplaced priorities, the lawfare of this Department of Justice. The right leaders set the right priorities. The idea that they would come into Virginia, attack a decades-old law, and then go after simply just days before an election really defies all common sense. But as we all know, common sense is very common in Washington these days.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many other, first of all, how did they end up on the voting rolls? And how many other states have people who are not citizens on their voting rolls, but they don't have a governor like Youngkin who's going to try and pull them off?
Well, I mean, I don't think many states are blessed with a governor like Youngkin, who has both his leadership and his clarity. I know several other states have. Georgia, Alabama, and others have publicly said, listen, we've identified and removed non-citizens as well. And so that is happening. Now, how do they end up?
Yes.
Listen, it could be just error. You do have those moments where somebody clicks the wrong box, and we get that. But this idea, which the Department of Justice is arguing that this is somehow some type of purge within 90 days, it's not a purge. These are individuals that voluntarily, on their own, identify as non-citizens. And essentially what they're asking us to do, what the Department of Justice is asking us to do, is to ignore Virginia law, which you have Virginia law that says you're to remove non-citizens off your voter rolls. And so that's why it just goes to the misplaced priorities. The idea that they would do such a nakedly, I think, partisan attack just a few days before election just defies all logic. But yeah, Governor Youngkin has been committed to having a safe, secure election in Virginia. That's what we have. We're obviously going to continue to fight what the Department of Justice is doing all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary.
Jason, just real quick, what's the why on that? Why is the Department of Justice fighting states that want to do voter ID or fighting states that want to clean off voter rolls?
I've asked my team the same thing. What exactly is the reasoning that they would do something that has such common sense? I just think it's misplaced priority. I think it's perhaps a very left-wing worldview that they think it's okay that non-citizens are on our voter rolls. I mean, we in court asked, so you're now instructing the Commonwealth of Virginia to place non-citizens that we previously removed back on our voter rolls. That's exactly what this district court ruling did. That's why we're fighting it. It really defies all common sense. It's why there's such distrust of Americans right now in Washington. Record-level distrust of the institutions of power. Yep. It really is frustrating.
All right, Jason Miyares, thank you so much for explaining the cases to us this morning.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.